you hear in the news. In fact, actually, I did read an article about the fact that about 40% of people, especially in America, are quitting their job. That's right. They are leaving their jobs because of one reason or another. And also, I think to myself, what about the others that are either in their job, in their workplace, in their careers, and they are not being fulfilled? They are feeling like basically they're just doing the same old thing and they are fed up of it all. How are they going to be able to, get that courage to, are they in that space of which they are thinking, I need to move on. I am stuck here. I don't want to carry on doing this job, but they are scared, or for whatever reason they don't want to move forward in taking that leap or taking that transition. And then those that now choose to now go and leave their jobs, what are they going to? Are they are they transitioning into another career, or what exactly is it? How do you move on from a place of feeling stuck without feeling like you have no purpose or you're not passionate about what you do? How do you do that? Well, I am so excited to have as my guest on today's Treasure Thursday, Lynn George. She is an executive career coach, and she's going to be sharing with us some of her wisdom. I am looking forward to this, um, hearing what she's got to share with you and see how she can help you to achieve your goals and dreams. So, you hold on. We're about to start Treasure Thursday. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
Hello, Lynn.
Gospel.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are
I am
you?
glad. I'm glad to be here. Hello. I am good. I am good. It is bright and early here in Houston, Texas, so I'm great.
Awesome. So, um, quick introduction.
Yeah.
Which so I can introduce you, or you can introduce yourself. But I love what you do. I absolutely do.
Thank you.
You, Lynn, everybody, is empowering mid-career women's vision. She's empowering them for their purpose and believe in realizing their full potential through career reinvention, career mastery, and career transition. She is the Chief Meaningful Work Officer. I love that so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And she empowers mid career professionals, organizations to accelerate their development to unleash your true leadership potential.
Yeah.
I am so glad with what Lynn is doing, and I am glad to have her here. Are you finding your work dreadful? Do you feel like you need a change in career, like over 40% of the people have taken the plunge to do? You you don't know where to start if you've already left your job? Well, Lynn is here to answer all your questions and direct you, or even signpost you to how to transition and reinvent yourself. So over to you, Lynn. Thank you so much for being here again. I've got a few questions lined up for you, and I just thought, you know what? Share something with us. Tell us about yourself, Lynn.
Well, Gospel, thank you so much, first of all, for the invitation, because I absolutely love talking about career development. As you stated in the introduction, my name is Lynn George, and I'm an executive career coach, and I help mid-career professionals as well as senior level professionals connect their talent, their purpose, and their passion to work meaningfully to solve organizational challenge and step into their divine calling. Um, I started this work over 15 years ago as a career specialist with a local workforce board, and moved into and naturally the work that I did in workforce development was a natural progression into a coaching role. So that's essentially what I do as a coach, is really help people unlock their potential.
And that is such a fabulous thing to do, helping people to unlock. I normally call it their gold mine. They've got that gold in them, and most of them don't know how to mine their gold. And so,
Mm.
what you're doing is super, super fabulous, and it's really great. So, you said you've been doing this for 15 years. Ooh la la,
Over,
over
yeah, over
15
15
years.
years.
That is a long time. Tell me
Yep.
what got you into it, and why do you think that people inherently struggle with transitioning in their careers,
Yeah.
transitioning into that career development part?
So I started Lynn George Consulting in 2016 out of inspiration in a divine call to empower people to do their purpose driven work. And Gospel, when I think about it, I got into this work over 15 years when out of inspiration to empower women. I
Mm-hmm.
had been a single mom. I don't know if you know my story, but I was a teen mom. And if you know anything about, the stats about teen moms, is that I think it's more than 50% of them do not graduate high school by the time they're 22, and less than 2% of them graduate college by the time that they are 30. So when I got into that work, the reason I share this is because when I got into that work, I wanted to empower women that had been in my same shoes, the same path, that similar path that I had walked in, to help them reach their goals and unlock their potential. So it was very early on in my career
Yeah.
that I had this call in my life. And I think the other part of that question is, Gospel, was the other part of the question is, why do people inherently struggle with the career development? So I'm going to go ahead and answer that question. So one of the reasons that people struggle with their career development is I like to say, lack of vision. Understanding what it is you want. And the reason sometimes, and when you think about the reason people have a lack of vision, is because most of the times, people are thinking about their careers in terms of a job title or in terms of a role, rather than thinking about their career development or their vision um, in terms of the impact that they want to make. What's the impact that you want to have on people? When you start at that point, it really begins to form a vision about who it is you want to be in the world and what is it you want to do. The other reason people have, inherently struggle is mindset around development. As we all know, that everything starts with mindset. If you don't have the right mindset for the goals that you want to achieve, then it will be challenging to achieve them. So if there is, for example, for me, I knew at some point that my impact, I want it to be more, I want it to be bigger. So eventually my goals became, how do I do that? I need to do that in a leadership role. Well, there are some steps that you need to take in order, or I needed to take in order to get to that point. And so, what gets in the way of development is mindset about what it is you need to do so that you can achieve the outcomes that you want to achieve. The other area of challenge for folks to around that struggle is confidence. The confidence to choose what it is you want to do to get where you want to go. Because here's the thing, technical confidence will only get you so far. So technical confidence is, I know my job, I know it well. And what we tend to do when we have that mindset about being confident about what we know how to do, there's a mindset looming that you're waiting for someone to see you, to tap you in order to get to that next step. And so there's other confidences that come into play that you need. For example, relational confidence. And by the way, these are confidences that I'm, in my career now, I'm just learning about because of my own development. So there's other confidence. There's this relational confidence, being able to build relationships with people, being able to leverage relationships with the relationships that you have in order to get where you need to go. So that's another area. And then one other area is fear of the unknown. So I talked about the vision, I talked about mindset, confidence, and then fear of the unknown. Knowing what I have in my notes here, knowing a certain way of work. So when you're used to having or knowing that this is what work looks like for you, and anything outside of that will challenge what you've known. So, and when that happens, we tend to not cringe, but we tend to kind of freeze up, right? We're like this. So the fear of the unknown actually is a huge struggle for career changers to make that change. And so what I advise when that happens is to start small, moonlight, volunteer, get a part-time job so that you can learn. Because what happens is when we do that, we open up other opportunities for learning so that we can build our mindset around development, or cultivate a growth mindset around development, and increase in areas of our different areas of competence. So the other area, or the other question that Gospel had was, why is it hard for people to unleash their true leadership potential without a coach? And I think this is a great question, because a lot of times I know me, before as I was growing and, reaching or striving to reach to grow in my career, I remember when I felt like I wanted a mentor, needed a mentor or a coach, but wasn't sure how to go about doing that. So a lot of times we don't know how to go about getting that coach or mentor, as I should say, mentor in our area of work. So number one, I want to mention that it's hard for people to unleash their leadership potential without a coach, because we haven't defined what leadership truly looked like for us. I say that because when I identified that, okay, I've learned this area, now I want my impact to look like this. And so this means that I need to grow in my area, in an area of leadership, right? And so I didn't know what that looked like. I thought it looked like me being in a role, in a leadership role. And so when I got to senior level management in my career, which is, what I aspired to, I got there and was like, this is not what I want to do. Okay. And that all goes back to, contribution, how you want to contribute to your organization, how you want to contribute to the world. And so you got to think about that too, like areas of contribution. Do I want to, in my organization, do I want to contribute on a level that's strategic, or do I want to continue to contribute as an individual contributor? Okay. Neither is higher than the other. It's just a matter of how is it I want to work? How do I want to work? What brings me joy? What's aligned with my values, right? And so those are the decisions that you make in terms of understanding what leadership look like for you. And then development, identifying what gets in the way of your potential, right? And these can be messages that we receive growing up or in the workplace, right? An example of that is asking, the whole mindset around asking for help. I know for me as a business owner, I've identified that I have a huge problem asking for help, not just in my professional life, but in my personal life. And so that's an area that I had to not only identify, but once I identified it, I needed to work on that, right? So that gets in the way of your development because people are not mind readers, right? So you need to understand, well, where is it I need to improve? And then who is it could help me in this area? Well, what about keeping in line with the messages we receive growing up or in the workplace? Another area that gets in the way of that is, the messages we receive, like growing up. When I was growing up in a Caribbean household, my mom always taught me that, hey, listen, when you go to work, you're not going there to make friends. You're going there to work. Okay. Well, that got in the way of my development because I go into work and it's just like this, right? Head down. But what I now understand is that relationships plays a huge role in your growth. Remember that relationships plays a huge role in your growth. There's an African proverb that says goes something like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, right, you go with other people, right? That's what building relationship does, or leveraging relationships. It helps you to go further along, right? And then the last area of what gets in the way of our leadership potential is the messages that we receive, right? Have an impact on our mindset and our confidence. And I just talked about those, that they get in the way of us being able to leverage our relationships. That helps us to get to the next level. So really, you need a coach, you need a mentor if you are in the process or, in transition or desire to grow in your organization. And so I want to just talk about a little bit about my approach and how I work. A lot of times there's nothing wrong with assessment. There's so many assessments out there. There are assessments about, your personality, and I've taken a lot of them. Helps you to understand your personality. There are assessments about, the way you communicate in the workplace. There are assessments about your interests. There are so many assessments. But one of the things that I I do is that when you come to work with me, my assessments in order to develop, co-create a plan for your career transition doesn't live on a piece of paper. It's me having a piece of paper and a pen and you and I having a conversation. Okay, so that's my approach, is that it's me hearing about you talk about your goals, and I need to understand what they are with much clarity. All right. And once we set a context around your goals, then we strategize and develop a plan. Then we assess, and after that we assess and course correct. So that's essentially my approach, right? The way that I approach my work. So now there is a program that I've recently launched. It's called Launch Your Purpose, and that program focuses on three areas, right? You, of course, it's a focus on you, but marketing, right? Understanding your goals, marketing, and confidence. So those are the three areas that give me just a second. I'm sorry. So let me start over. So Launch Your Purpose is a 10-hour, 4-month program that focuses on your mindset, marketing, and confidence so that you can maximize your potential, your purpose, and your profits. And when you recognize what you bring to the table, right? When you recognize what you bring to the table, that's through confidence, then you are able to increase your profits. So it's really you doing the work. If you do the work, you will increase, your salary. You will increase what you're bringing if you're a business owner, right? So it's all about your understanding what your mindset is around things, what's getting in the way of you moving forward, and then building that confidence through development so that you can increase your profits. And an example of this is just kind of like, just a general example is, again, I've counseled, advised people for almost 20 years in this space. And two areas that career changers typically have issues in are confidence and mindset. So when you work with me, or my clients, these are some transformations that they've received. And that is, prior to coming to me, for example, they, I don't like networking. I don't do networking. It's just not who I am. It just feels, ew. By the time you and I get through, you will see networking as building relationships, not a transaction. You have more confidence about what that building relationships mean and how to leverage those relationships to get what you need and what you want. And how do you offer support and value, right, in those relationships? So, so part of that is understanding what the gap is and what you need to do for your development so that you can expand your capacity to lead others. All right. So to learn more about Launch Your Purpose, head over to www.lynngeorgeconsulting.com. That's www.lynngeorge consulting, consulting.com, and click on the Work With Me tab, and you'll find all of my programs there. And that concludes my talk around career development and what I do. And hopefully let us know in the comments what it is that you struggle with in your career transition, or as you're thinking about your transition. Let us know in the comments.
Really great having her and having her here to share what she does with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I just want to say a big thank you to our guest, Lynn George, the executive career coach. You need to go onto her website and schedule your appointment with her and book for the pilot scheme that she's having, the 10-hour session that she is going to be doing soon. You go onto her website and get your career on track if that is what you want to do. Until next time, everybody, remember you're unique. There's only one like you. So go out there and share your unique self. Just be you. Okay? Until next time, to your ongoing